When President Biden took office a year ago, some of his first actions were aimed at reforming the country's immigration policies. He's gotten rid of some of the rules from the previous administration, but has also kept a handful of them in place.
The two senators, Tillis and Sinema, began passing their plan around the Senate today. Sinema promised to tackle immigration as soon as the election was over.
We've been stymied by political edges on both ends of the spectrum. One party that demands only border walls and security, and another party that wants amnesty for millions of people.
There's a race to pass the bill before the GOP controls the House next year. A GOP House opposes legal status for those here illegally.
We want an immigration system that works. We want to reward people that go through it legally, but no amnesty.
Would that apply for Dreamers as well in any sort of potential future deal?
We hold people accountable who are responsible for their own actions, and we believe in no amnesty.
The GOP's opposition is why Democrats demand action now.
What we are saying is the president has put forward, on day one, he put forward a comprehensive immigration reform, ways to deal with what is at stake here, ways to deal with a broken immigration system. He put that forward on day one. And what we're asking is for Republicans in Congress to help us come up with a solution, to look at what this president put forward on day one. And they are not doing that. Instead, they're doing political stunts.
He's drawn criticism from both opponents and allies for his approach to the issue of immigration.
We have been reporting about the expected immigration reform for last few years, but still waiting for conclusive updates. The Senate is reportedly weighing a new bipartisan immigration reform framework that involves concessions from both Democrats and Republicans, but also has a number of provisions that could ultimately doom it. The Democrats have just won the Senate for midterm 2022, which gives a key to Biden admin to act on immigration reforms. In this video, we will discuss the possibilities of expected immigration breakthrough.
Visit us at Swat&Vee channel with your questions to see how best we can help you out with your process. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel.
Now let's get into the video and find out what's new in U.S. immigration. The framework for a potential bill is the product of negotiations between Senator Kyrsten Sinema, Democrats Arizona, and Senator Thom Tillis, Republican North Carolina. According to a summary in the Washington Post, it would give Democrats a long-sought path to citizenship for more than 2 million Dreamers who immigrated to the U.S. as children without authorization. That would add $1.2 trillion to GDP over a decade and $235 billion in net fiscal contributions, as estimated by the Niskanen Center, a libertarian think tank. Republicans would get additional border security resources and at least a one-year extension of the Title 42 policy, which has allowed the U.S. to use pandemic-era health rules to quickly expel nearly 2.5 million migrants who have arrived on the southern border since 2020. The Government Accountability Office would have the authority to end the policy, ostensibly after the government can establish new migrant processing centers on the border. The framework would also provide funding to accelerate the processing of asylum seekers, including for those processing centers, and to hire additional asylum officers and immigration judges. And it has provisions that would allow migrants who aren't eligible for asylum to be quickly removed. Currently, the process of adjudicating an asylum claim typically spans months or even years. Existing asylum cases have been pending for an average of 785 days as of October. Though the framework is a mix of Democratic and Republican-supported policies, it also has a few potential deal-breakers, including the preservation of Title 42. Given that it would need at least 60 votes to pass the Senate under the filibuster, that doesn't bode well for its prospects, especially because it's under a time crunch. There's less than a month left before the new Congress begins on January 3rd. The key Republican lawmakers are so far hesitant to endorse the framework. The Republicans have previously opposed opening up a new pathway to citizenship, and there's no sign they're suddenly willing to do so now, particularly given how the GOP has sought to use immigration as a political cudgel against President Joe Biden. Beyond calls to be tougher, it's unclear exactly what Republicans want the Biden administration to do at the border. A House GOP memo released before the midterms outlined plans to fully fund effective border enforcement strategies, infrastructure, and advanced technology to prevent illegal crossings and trafficking by cartels, as well as end catch and release loopholes, require legal status to get a job, and get rid of welfare incentives, without calling for a specific amount of money to be spent. But those policy proposals were vague, and that seems to be by design, giving individual Republicans room to define their specific stance and to attack Biden, even as he leaves several Trump-era policies in place, including the controversial Title 42 policy. Biden is also reportedly considering reviving a Trump-era policy that prevents migrants from applying for asylum in the U.S. if they have not already done so in another country, like Mexico. Senator Dick Durbin, D.Eel, and other Senate Democrats have been pushing in the lame duck session to pass protections for Dreamers, seeing it as their last chance before the House goes under GOP control in January. But they weren't talking about pairing that with the kind of border security provisions in the Sinema-Tillis framework. Durbin hasn't signed on to their proposal, but he's leaving the door open for now. As the author of the original DREAM Act more than 20 years ago, I applaud every good faith effort to give these deserving individuals a path to citizenship. I've been in touch with my colleagues and will carefully review their proposal. I am determined to do everything in my power to help deliver a Christmas miracle for Dreamers, he said in a statement Monday. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus, which has been calling on Congress to pass protections for Dreamers before the year's end, has also yet to stake its position on the framework. Sebastian Roa, a CHC spokesperson, told Vox that the group hasn't reviewed the legislative text but wants to see lawmakers continue talking and figure it out for the sake of our Dreamers and the repercussions of DACA ending on our communities. Sinema and Tillis are still drafting that text, and for Democrats considering the bill, the devil may be in the details. A Senate Democratic aide told Vox that their office is concerned about the provisions on asylum processing and the continuation of Title 42, which they see as a sticking point. If the asylum processing provision is similar to one included in a separate bipartisan proposal that Sinema co-wrote in 2021, that would likely alienate some Democrats. Immigrant advocates warned that trying to speed up asylum processing to a 72-hour turnaround timeframe would infringe on the due process rights of asylum seekers, forcing snap decisions with potential life or death consequences. Title 42 has also proved a dividing line in the Democratic Party. It was put in place under the Trump administration using dubious public health rationale and has become an overt, de facto national immigration and border security strategy due to its effectiveness at keeping migrants out of the U.S. A federal court has struck down the policy, leading to its scheduled rollback later this month. Moderate Democrats and those facing tough contests in 2022, including incoming Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, have questioned the Biden administration's decision to end Title 42 earlier this year. 5 Democratic senators, Sinema and Mark Kelly of Arizona, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Raphael Warnock of Georgia, and Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, even joined Republicans in introducing a bill that would have preserved the policy until 60 days after the Surgeon General announces the end of the public health emergency related to COVID-19. Progressives, on the other hand, have been calling on Biden to end Title 42 since shortly after he took office. As early as February 2021, 60 Democratic members of Congress wrote to the administration demanding that it safely and effectively end all expulsions under Title 42, as soon as practicable, and ensure that migrants can access our nation's asylum system. Those provisions alone could make it hard to get the Democratic caucus on board. If so, that would mean the Sinema and Tillis bill won't have a fighting chance.
I hope you guys found this video extremely helpful. If you know anybody that could benefit from this information, definitely make sure to share this video with them. We are all about empowering you with knowledge. So the more people that can benefit from this video, the more people we want watching this video. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs icon. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification bell for more immigration updates. Bye!